Welcome to this day of celebration. Welcome to this day of celebration. It's great to have all of you here to witness the union of Vanessa and Ranmal as husband and wife before God. Together, we will share in the joys of their wedding, both with the outward celebration of this occasion and with an internal appreciation for the love that surrounds us. Vanessa and Ranmal, you two have the opportunity to build an amazing life together. You are blessed to share this experience with the loved ones gathered here today, to support you as you embark on this journey. As the Bible reminds us in Corinthians, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails. In preparation for this ceremony, I forwarded an email to each of these lovely people with identical questions to which they gave different answers. But it was revealing to me that all of these characteristics of love found in Corinthians was exhibited in their answers. For example, Ranmal's description of his proposal was quite humorous in that describing, for example, that he had trouble finding the ring in a sock that he had because they were out on a long expedition on their either running or bicycles. I can't remember. But Vanessa's description of the ceremony didn't include anything like that.
It's trying to be nice.
So similarly, Vanessa's, Ranmal's didn't ever describe this event, but Vanessa described an event where they were in a race, and she thought she had earned a trophy in the race, when in fact it was Ranmal that had earned the trophy. But he was so kind, he never mentioned it to her, and that she found out independently later that he just let her enjoy having the trophy. And
True.
and he was glad to do that. Their views on life are very similar. Ranmal doesn't remember not loving Vanessa. Vanessa remembers the trophy event as the time that she started loving Ranmal. I mean, a man that's willing to share his trophy, you know.
It's true.
You get any better than that? But when I asked about their views on marriage and why they're getting married, their answers were different but surprisingly similar. It's almost like together the answers would come from one person. So I feel that they exhibit all of these things, these characteristics described by Paul in Corinthians, and the patience and kindness, no envy, no boasting, well, maybe a little bit, but it's at least it's sanctioned boasting, and it's no pride between these two. They both know that it's their intentions and their wishes to have a long relationship and make a family together and have all the things that we're here to celebrate today, and look forward to helping them down that road. So may everyone here remember and cherish this ceremony, for on this day, with love, we will forever bind Ranmal and Vanessa together. And now I believe there will be some readings before we proceed further with the formal ceremony.
I'm going to share a reading that Vanessa and Ranmal gave me a choice to choose one. And it's from a book written in the early 90s about a time in the life of a doctor and his daughter on an island in Greece. And the daughter has fallen in love with an Italian sergeant who has been housed in their house because of the occupation. And the father explains to the daughter what he sees as love. It's quite compelling. And he says in a very tender voice, because there is a video, love is a temporary madness. It erupts like an earthquake, and then it subsides. And when it subsides, you have a decision to make. You have to work out whether your roots have become so entwined together that it's inconceivable that you should ever part. Because that is what love is. Love is not breathlessness. It is not excitement. It is not the promulgation of promises of eternal passion. That is just being in love, which any of us can convince ourselves we are. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away. And this is both an art and a fortunate accident. And the father says, your mother and I had it. We had roots that grew together, that grew towards each other underground. And when all the pretty blossoms had fallen from our branches, we found that we were one tree, and not two.
I'm Vidya. I'm Ranmal's mom. I've always wanted a daughter, and I have one now. And Vanessa and Ranmal sent me 3 readings to choose from. And I chose this because I felt that it resonates with who they are. They look out for that individual person, whoever they are. And I thought that this was a very good story to tell on the occasion of their marriage. It's a starfish story. A businessman was on a vacation, walking along the beach, and saw a young boy. All along the shore were starfish that had washed up on the shore from the tide and were likely to die in the hot sun. The boy walked along the shore and reached down here and there to pick up starfish and toss it back into the ocean. The businessman, so accustomed to efficiency, walked up to the boy to tell him about his nonsensical ways. He said, "I've noticed what you have been doing, son. You have a warm heart, and I know that you mean well. But there are so many starfish dying on the beaches all over the world. I'm sure you could do something better with your time. Do you really think that this is going to make a difference?" The boy glanced up at the man. He looked down at the starfish by his feet. He picked up the beautiful starfish, tossed it back to the ocean, said, "It made a difference to that one." And this is from a starfish story by author called Lorraine Ainsley. At this point, I would take one more second to invoke to you a blessing from Sri Lanka. It's a very short one. And it's since a lot of Sri Lankan relatives are here and friends. I will recite to you in Pali first, and then a translation. Pali is a very ancient language in South Asia. It says, "Bhavatu sabba mangalang, rakkantu sabba devata." Translated, it means, "May the two of you receive all the blessings. May all the deities protect you." Vanessa and Ranmal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marriage is more than a simple exchanging of rings or combining of material assets. Rather, it is an indescribably powerful shared commitment. While today I will legally bind you together, the truly important bonds we form today are largely invisible to the world, existing primarily in the unfilled corners of your hearts. Marriage is one of life's greatest gifts, and it is a blessing to make these promises with your soulmate. As you hold on to one another, you will find deeper levels of joy and happiness and peace together. Your marriage is the foundation upon which you will build the rest of your lives, and, despite any adversity, will always be there to sustain you. Ranmal and Vanessa, take a moment to sense the tremendous amount of love radiating throughout this space. As you stand here today before God, before those gathered here in your honor, and before one another, take note that after you speak your vows this day, your lives will never be the same. Marriage, regardless of preconceived notions you might have, has the capacity to deepen and challenge and strengthen you and your relationship in ways that you can never imagine. The joy you will find as you pursue your shared lives will fuel you to face head-on the challenges that you'll encounter on this earth. On your journeys together, keep your spouse in the space of highest priority in your heart. Learn to work together, to laugh together. I think you had that. To love together. Don't get caught up in worldly things that will draw you apart. Instead, focus on your shared devotion and turn inward. As your relationship strengthens, you will find that you come to share a remarkable love. A love that is both abundantly given and freely asserted. As we celebrate this bond of unity today, under the eyes of God, it is important that we keep in mind that while this is certainly an occasion of tremendous joy, the promises we witness here today are serious and life-altering commitments. As Jesus said, have you not read that he who made them at the beginning made them male and female? And he also taught that for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So then they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man separate. It is with simultaneous feelings of elation and expressions of respect that we proceed. Ranmal and Vanessa, I would now invite you to publicly speak your commitment to your partner. Would you like to begin, Ranmal?
She asked for it.
Just
You
so-
want to begin?
Yeah, just so I don't get choked up.
Okay. You need to hold it, or you want to hold it? Let
That'd
me
be
hold
great.
it for you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
Initially, I actually didn't want to do our own vows because I was pretty sure Ranmal's would be better than mine, and we all know I hate losing to Ranmal. So, but then I realized it would afford me the opportunity to engage in my favorite pastime, which is talking. So, I will start my vows. Throughout our relationship, we have traveled all over Pennsylvania, Ohio, and California on various cycling trips. Each night, we had to create our cycling route for the next morning. It was difficult to create routes that maximized challenging climbs for you while minimizing steep descents for me. No ride was ideal for either of us alone. I would begrudgingly ride my brakes at 5 miles an hour down some very steep descents so that you could enjoy some tough climbs for a while. You, in turn, would ride on some long, boring, flat roads for quite a while so that I could just ride in without fear of steep descent for 5 or 10 minutes. While I may have been slightly more vocal about my sacrifices than you, I noticed you would longingly gaze at steep climbs that we bypassed. Sometimes on our rides we had to turn around, take an alternate route, stop and ask for help, but we enjoyed every ride. We challenged ourselves in very different ways so that we can maximize our mutual happiness together. Every challenge we accomplished on rides, every breathtaking view we encountered was far better just because we shared it with one another. To me, today represents a moment to celebrate our relationship full of long flat roads, long climbs, steep descents, and some breathtaking beauty that I can appreciate more than I ever could alone simply because you are here with me. Along our journey, you have inspired me with your ability to embrace situations I find terrifying, which is a lot of things. You exude tremendous resilience when faced with defeat and grace under times of pressure. I admire your tireless devotion to your work and to science in general. I am touched by your compassion for your family and for our dogs, as you will even walk back to the apartment if you've forgotten to tell them that you love them before you left. I appreciate that you tolerate my silly games, crafts, and my very sensitive nature. I feel stronger in times of doubt just by imagining you standing behind me in support. And yet you also challenge me. You question my actions, thought processes, and approaches to life in constructive ways that initially may irritate me, but ultimately have made me a better person. As our journey continues, I vow to think of your happiness before mine, to integrate you into changes I will undergo. I will challenge myself to love you every year more than the one that passes. I will take the time to appreciate what's right in our relationship and to never stop working to fix what could be better. I will try to be more patient, but I'm sure I'll fail at that. In fact, I'm sure I'll fail at many of things, but that's okay because I'm sure you'll fail too, probably far more often than me. And I vow to forgive you and work towards solutions rather than focusing on who's right, because we both know who that is anyway. Today, instead of making grand promises about the rest of our lives, let us focus on the simple promise of trying to be better together tomorrow than we were yesterday, of choosing routes throughout our life that keep the other person foremost in the mind. I believe this simple act will find us happily holding one another's hands decades from now, with nowhere else we'd rather be. Not because of one promise on one day, but because of the immense effort and simple choices we will continue to make in planning out our various routes through life together.
Bowling at the MSTP retreat 10 years ago. That's when we first met.
Oh.
I know you don't remember because you asked me just last week when did we meet. But I certainly remember. Among other things, I remember that you insisted on bowling with both hands between your legs and mostly into the gutter. Best of all, you'd often state that you had won, even though in bowling, the lowest score is the exact opposite of winning. Over the last 10 years, you've continued this tradition of letting me know that you've won. But on this day, I want you to know that I won. I won because you're standing next to me. I won because I found the one person that after 6 working days is willing to spend the one day we have off together cycling up and down a hill or running for 10 miles instead of doing something more reasonable like sleeping. I won because you came with 2 misfit dogs that despite their truly innumerable psychological, behavioral, and cognitive deficiencies are still the best pups anyone could ask for, and they make our family complete. I won because even after a 12-hour workday, you're willing to spend an extra 2 hours reading over my grant proposal. And when said grant proposal gets rejected, you express the most righteous and indignation at the offense, however deserved that rejection may have been. I won because one of the hardest and saddest years of my life was the one spent apart from you when you came to LA and I had to stay back in Pittsburgh. And one of the best years of my life was the one that followed when I joined you in LA. I won because if ever I'm hungry and it's late at night, I know there'll be an endless supply of gummies and Oreos in the cabinet.
It's true.
And I won because on this day, at this event, you're standing next to me, and because I could keep going on about how I won. In my life, I've been very fortunate to have the love and support of a lot of individuals, most of whom are here with us today. But over the last several years, you more than anyone else have been the one that supported and loved me. And today I promise, well, first of all, I hope that I've done the same for you, but I promise today that I'll do my best to do right by you. Should I fail in this promise in any way, and you allow it, I'll learn from my mistakes and I'll try to do better next time. And I'll always support you in whatever endeavors you choose to pursue, even if sometimes this means eating gummies and Oreos before dinner. But not every night, because I don't want you to be insulin dependent at the age of 32. Vanessa, my life with you has been full of joy and happiness. But of course, I've had my periods of loneliness, sadness, and seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Without fail, those are the moments that you bowl with both hands between your legs, straight into the gutter, and raise your hands in victory. Vanessa Suzanne Franco, you always fix me. For this and so much more, I love you from the bottom of my heart. And in case you forgot, I win.
Okay. Vanessa and Ranmal, please join hands. Vanessa, do you take Ranmal to live together in the union of marriage, to take him as your best friend and partner in life, to honor, cherish, and love him from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, for all of your days?
I do.
They can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Ranmal, do you take Vanessa to live together in union of marriage, to take her as your best friend and partner in life, to honor, cherish, and love her from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, for all of your days?
I do.
The wedding ring's circular shape. The wedding ring's circular shape reflects the unending power of love, a force with no beginning and no end. You should wear these rings proudly and let them remind you each day of your commitment to one another. Please repeat after me. I, Vanessa, give you Ranmal.
I, Vanessa, give you Ranmal.
This ring is a symbol of my love.
This ring is a symbol of my love.
As I place it on your finger, I commit the whole of my heart and soul to you.
As I place it on your finger, I commit the whole of my heart and soul to you.
I promise to cherish you for the rest of my days.
I promise to cherish you for the rest of my
I
days.
give you all that I am
I give you all that I am
and accept all that you are.
and accept all that you are.
And Ranmal, please repeat after me. I, Ranmal,
I, Ranmal,
give you, Vanessa, this ring as a symbol of my love.
give you, Vanessa, this ring as a symbol of my love.
As I place it on your finger, I commit the whole of my heart and soul to you.
As I place it on your finger, I commit the whole of my heart
And
and soul to you.
I promise to cherish you for the rest of my days.
I promise to cherish you for the rest of my days.
I give you all that I am, and go ahead,
I give you all that I am
and accept all that you are.
and accept all that you are.
Family and friends, by the power invested in me by the Universal Life Church and the state of California, I give you Vanessa, Franco, and Ranmal Samara Singh,
Good job.
and we pronounce them husband and wife, and you may kiss the bride.